Assalamualaikum and hi, we are from Group 1 and today we are going to present about the topic of estate planning in personal finance planning. Estate refers to the sum of a person's asset. So, estate planning is the process of establishing and managing a plan for the protection, preservation, provision distribution of the person's total assets for the benefit of a person's family and heirs prior of their death. Now, let's talk about estate planning tools. Will and trust are two of the most commonly used estate planning tools in the society. However, we also have other tools such as power of attorney, nomination, offshore trust, assignment, hiba, family foundation, and business by share agreement. While we have so many tools, they have their own characteristics, and understanding about these characteristics are important for a proper estate planning. Next, estate planning level in Malaysia. A survey in 1990 in Malaysia indicates that only 10% of the respondents had either a will or a trust for their estate planning. Although another survey by 2018 suggests that the percentage has risen to 37%, the percentage is still considered dissatisfied. This is because most of the respondents are urban citizens. If the proportion of rural citizens increases, this percentage may be significantly reduced as most of the people think that estate planning is only important for wealthy people.
So, why is estate planning important? Firstly, estate planning helps you organize what you own so it can be passed on smoothly to the right people. Not only that, it allows you to make decisions that matches your goal, like providing for your children or supporting a cause that you care about. Besides that, you can make sure that your estate is distributed accordingly to your religion or to the laws that apply to you. It also lets you plan ahead that help reduces stress on you and also give you the confidence that your wishes will be respected.
Hello. So now I will be explaining the consequences of poor or no estate planning at all. So one of the consequences is that there will be the occurrence of family conflicts. Wills are recognized legal documents in Malaysia and they are seldom contested. If there is no will or weak will, fights within family will occur. Family members will scramble to claim which assets are theirs, as they believe. And in the result of it is family relationships will be strained, perhaps permanently. And an example, a real life example of this in Malaysia is the Genting family inheritance feud. uh, Lim Ti Kyong had passed away, and the two of his sons sued the estate, claiming that the will signature was forged by his lawyer, and also at that time Lim Ti Kyong was incompetent to write a will as he was decaying physically and mentally. And their aunt was also involved in this lawsuit as she was also trying to claim part of that inheritance. And this lawsuit dragged on for years until a settlement that was reached, that was agreed upon by all parties involved. And this is one of the reasons why estate planning is important. The second consequence of poor or no estate planning is the sudden, unexpected increased expenses. Legal, court, and government trustee fees, which the government will appoint you a trustee if you do not have one, will all incur heavy cost eventually that will end up maybe in the tens of thousands of ringgit. The deceased assets are also frozen by the government until progress is made in the distribution of assets to the heirs. And if the heirs or heirs apparent or claimants do not have any cost to back up their claims, these assets will remain unclaimed. And we can see now in the news around 65 billion ringgit of unclaimed assets are in the hands of the government. Uh, Unclaimed assets will incur additional costs on top of the expenses that you have already paid. For example, properties will incur maintenance fees and also property taxes, which you have to pay to the government. For example, I can give my own example here since my own family had been through this. My grandfather passed away long time ago and he left a house and also valuable jewelries. And because of the cost associated with claiming an asset from someone who has no will, my family gave up completely. And this is evidence of why estate planning is important, not only for rich people, but also for poor people.
Hello, my name is Haikal Ananda Perdana, metric number 23060719, and I would like to explain the difference between Islamic and non-Islamic estate planning with one example for each planning. In Islamic estate planning, when someone passes away, their wealth is divided based on Sharia law. This system is called faraid. It clearly says who gets how much. For example, a son gets the double share of a daughter, and the wife or husband also gets a fixed portion. These rules are based on the Quran and must be followed. But Muslims also can use other tools. They can give hibah, which is a gift while they are still alive, or make a wasiyah. Wasiyah is which is a will to give up one third of their wealth to someone outside the family, like a friends or charity. They can also create waqf, which is a type of charity. On the other hand, non-Islamic estate planning gives people more freedom. In places like the US or the Europe country or under civil law in Malaysia, people can choose who gets their money or property. For example, they can write a will and leave everything to one child or even to a charity. There are no fixed rules unless the law say you must take care of your spouse or children. So the difference is Islamic estate planning follow religious rules to make sure family is treated fairly, but non-Islamic planning focuses on more personal choice. They both have their strengths, but for Muslims, it is also about doing what is right in the eye of religion, not just the law. That is all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yasmin and I'm going to present to you about the conclusion. In summary, an essential component of familial and financial well-being is estate planning, which guarantees that one assets are allocated in accordance with one preference while reducing delays, taxes, and conflict. In addition to upholding legal and ethical obligation, proper estate planning gives loved one financial security and peace of mind. On the other hand, inadequate or non-existent estate planning can result in family conflict, legal issue, and unforeseen asset distribution, which frequently cause survivors to experience both financial and emotional hardship. The preservation of wealth and equitable distributions are the goals of both Islamic and non-Islamic estate planning, but the underlying ideologies are very different. Islamic estate planning emphasizes divine law and moral responsibility while adhering to Faraid or Sharia mandatory inheritance law. In contrast, non-Islamic estate planning is more flexible and governed by civil law, giving people more control over how their assets are distributed. To select the approach that best suits their values, belief, and family needs, people must be aware of this distinction. Essentially, estate planning is a moral obligation that shows one concern and foresight of their loved one futures, not merely a financial one. Thank you.
So for our reference, the first one we have an article written in May 8, 2018 by Tan ZY that talks about estate planning, more Malaysian aware of importance of wills and trust, the Edge Malaysia. And then the second article is from an article written by Kagan J in 2025 that talks about what is estate planning, definitions, meaning, and key components. Then the third one is all you need to know about wills in Malaysia and the Wills Act. So this talks about how estate planning happens in Malaysia by Property Guru that is written in 2023. And then the fourth one we have Genting Group's Family Feud continues in court that written in 2018 by the Malay Mail. This is for our reference for our study case that we already made in the report and Canva. And then the fifth one is uh, a website of Jabatan Kehakiman Syariah Malaysia, which is www.gksm.gov.my. Then American Bar Association for our reference of non-Islamic estate planning, which is from www.americanbar.org. You can check on the website. And then Department of Insolvency Malaysia that talks about wasiat, hibah, and trust guidelines. For my part, that comparing Islamic estate planning and non-Islamic estate planning. And lastly, estate planning for non-Muslims in Malaysia that's written by the Rockwills Corporation Berhad, same as the first one, the Tan ZY articles. This is to clearly mention how non-Muslim estate planning happening in Malaysia. Why? Because Malaysia is a Muslim country, so it is a bit tricky on that part.